Hello, my name is Ariana Smith, and with my partner Haley, we are going to be talking about the Shavers Creek Environmental Center Annual Maple Harvest Festival. We are going to be talking about station number 3, which is tapping maple trees. So, the goal of the Maple Harvest Festival at Shavers Creek is to provide the general public with an opportunity to experience and appreciate firsthand the art, science, ecology, and the pleasure of producing and consuming maple syrup and other maple products. We do this by presenting the maple syrup manufacturing process to festival attendees in 5 teaching and learning stations. Today, we will be learning about tapping maple trees. So one question is, how many gallons of sap does it take to make 1 gallon of syrup? On average, between 40 to 50 gallons of sap are required to make 1 gallon of finished syrup. How long is the maple season each year? The sap run in Vermont can begin in mid-January and last through the end of March, while in Pennsylvania, the sap run typically begins in March and wraps up in early April. The average length of the season across all states is between 20 and 30 days, but it can vary from 15 to more than 80 days in some years and in some locations. Are all sugar maple trees the only tree that can be tapped for sap and syrup? No. All trees contain sap, and all sap contains sugars. Sugar maples, however, have the highest concentration of sugar in their sap than do most other trees, and that's why it's the most worthwhile tree to draw sap from. How many trees are tapped each year at Shavers Creek? There are plenty of maple trees around Shavers Creek, but we typically tap between 15 and 30 trees every year at Shavers Creek. Over a 4-week season at Shavers Creek, we tap about 100 gallons of sap, and that makes 2 gallons of syrup. How long has the festival been going on at Shavers Creek? So the festival has been around since 1984. There was a 1-year break between 2017 and 2018 when there were renovations at the center, and it returned back in 2019. So there have been a total of 37 Maple Harvest festivals. How many people usually attend this festival? There is about 800 to 1,000 people a day, so about 2,000 people for the entire weekend. Where are the animal programs located? The animal programs located will either be in the Sylvie or the Airy classroom. The bird programs will be within the aviary. Where do the volunteers come from for this festival? So me personally, I'm a seed student, so I'm getting credit for this class from RPTM 237. There are also other students from AEE taking this class as well. And then there's a bunch of volunteers and the full-time staff at Shavers Creek help out too. How many pancakes are made each day? During the Maple Harvest Festival, there's about 5,000 to 6,000 pancakes served every single day. So I'm going to explain a little bit of the history of different tapping methods. Native Americans made an opening in the tree, allowing the sap to flow through into a bark trough. Pioneers drilled holes into trees with an auger, inserted a wooden spile, and hung a wooden collection bucket. Sumac and elderberry were used to make spiles because of the soft pith, which can be pushed out to make a hollow tube, kind of like a straw. And then modern producers frequently use metal or plastic spiles. This current tendency is to use a smaller diameter spout/spile to encourage rapid hole closure following tapping, so the trees can grow back and become healthier after it.
So there's a few key things you want to keep in mind when tapping a tree. You want to make sure that you're measuring the tree at breast level height, and it needs to be at least 10 inches in diameter, but no less than that. But for every 4 to 6 inches, you can add a spile, but I wouldn't add any more than 3 or 4. But most holes are drilled in the tree 3 inches deep, and they're drilled at an angle because it prevents water from collecting in there and freezing, so that way your hole doesn't close, and it also helps the sap flow a little easier with gravity. When you tap, most people use for your spile, most people use a metal or plastic spile in modern days, but people can still use wood. That was predominantly used in the past. Sumac and elderberry are probably what you want to go for because they have a very soft pith in the center that's easy to drill a hole through and make like a straw kind of object. But yeah, so you want to do that, but you're mostly going to drill with a drill or a T-auger. So, but remember, only 3 inches. The season usually runs from about February to March. That's when the sap is going to be the best to collect, and it's going to be optimal timing and weather conditions. So, hope you remember that when you tap your tree.
So, I don't have a drill, so this is going to be a little difficult to explain, and also this is an axe stuck in the side of this log, but basically, I'm going to explain and demonstrate how we would drill a hole. So, first off, this tree is more than 10 inches diameter, so this would be a tree you could tap. Let's pretend it's a sugar maple, it might be. First off, you want to drill a hole about 3 inches in. This is going to show up. 3 inches into the tree at an upward angle, so the sap actually, gravity does its thing and the sap comes out. And you want to drill this hole about 3 inches deep into the tree trunk, so about as deep as that pen is. The upward angle when you drill it into an upward angle, this allows the sap to flow out and prevents the hole from freezing up. This prevents water collection that may cause rot within the tree. After you would drill the hole, you would back the drill out to measure the depth and to clean out the hole. So, you might be asking, where on the tree should we drill or tap the hole? As Haley said, you should go for breast height. So if you walk up to a tree and it's about 4 feet tall, that's where you could start drilling. Another important thing to mention is, if in the first year we drilled here, it's kind of hard to see, you would want to move the tap the next year about 6 inches away and slightly up or slightly down. And then if I had a spile to show you how it works, you would place it into the hole that you drilled, and then with a mallet or a hammer, you would slightly tap it in. You don't want to slam it in because that's going to have bad effects. If you tap too hard, the bark around the hole will split and the spout will not fit as snugly, and then it might leak. So the tree may recover a little bit slower. So in conclusion, from this video, I hope you learned a little bit more about tapping than you might have known, or if you've never done anything, I hope you come to a Maple Harvest Festival sometime soon. Thank you for tuning in.